Hello. Just to make sure we're on the same page, this should be on YouTube channel James 13 Wicca. Um, I'll put other information below, like the decks and how to get a reading. I'm just gonna make this really quick. If you're near Herkimer, New York, I am doing personal readings. I'm doing in-person readings near Herkimer, New York. If you want to look that up, if you're near, shoot me an email. I'll tell you the details. Otherwise, you can get a reading from me. Shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. This is James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you very much. And let's go ahead and get into your reading. Hello, Aquarius. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Aquarius? Slap. 2 of Cups. All right. Let's see what's going on here. Well, let's get to the last card before. Yeah, okay. What is that? Okay. This kind of reminds me of Libra's reading a little bit, because they had this card in play, the 10 of Cups, and it was very important for the situation, for people to get along. Doesn't have to mean you're dealing with a Libra person, but if this reading really hits, that one might also help, if this one does, of course. What are we trying to do? Are we trying to move things forward, or are we trying to keep them more where they are? A lot of positive cards. A lot of positive cards, which we want to keep. So how do we keep the positive cards? Okay. So around this situation, there's somebody who's very chatty. Somebody is trying to come into the situation. I don't know. Let's go a little farther with it. However you got into this situation, I keep getting this pushing energy trying to push in, but let's start with where it started. How's that? I feel like that makes better sense. Devil, but reversed. We like that. That's releasing ourselves from something we were stuck in. So the way this situation might have actually occurred in your life is like I had to get out of something that wasn't working, and I broke free of getting away from something that was very combative. The way you got into this one is you got away from something else that was really not good. I feel like that's where this situation came from. For some of you, maybe you got out of a bad relationship, and to get out of that, you had to go into a whole new job or something like that, or you had to move to a whole new location. Could have been something like that. Getting out of that situation, getting out of the bad situation, seems like it created this one, which is actually quite good. And I get the current energy, people get along. At least, well, realistically, people get along. Like, maybe they're not all, singing songs every 5 seconds, but they're not all skipping and singing down the road together. Maybe not. But overall, I don't feel like there's any really bitter, nasty energy here. Not really like, this one's always out for that one or anything like that. So the energy, it's a general read, I know. For the overall, the general read, at the very least, you enjoy this energy for the most part. And what is that? Like, are we trying to change things or not? I'm not getting that part just yet. Because I'm not sure if we're trying to keep it or if we're trying to advance it. I know what this situation's about. You add value to this situation. The 5 of Swords reversed is, to me, that's adding value where maybe there wasn't any before. Or maybe, it's kind of like, the reason I like this is because I made it something that I like. You have a very strong effect here. And I feel like I'm trying to keep that. I want to keep that. I have a couple relatives that are Aquariuses, and one of them's passed on, but still. Very selective communication can be a thing. I feel like Aquarius is very when they get bored, they like to chat, and maybe sometimes they say things they shouldn't. And I feel like when you get really comfortable, maybe you say something and you're like, well, maybe I shouldn't have said that. I feel like I'm trying to keep certain things under control. It's not like there's nothing wrong with the way you communicate, but I feel like I'm very well aware certain people can't handle me when I'm just like letting it fly. If I'm just letting things fly out of my mouth and I'm just saying what I want without really worrying about it, not everybody can handle that energy. Especially when you have some people that are like, you know, they snap back and like, well, what does that mean? And you're like, just what I said. I don't know what did you think it meant? It's kind of like some people might shock you once in a while, kind of like I thought what I said was plain as day, but what did you think I meant by that? So I feel like the energy is very good here. I'm doing my best to keep it there. I'm also very careful how I communicate with certain people and how comfortable I get in certain company. Because everything's good and I want to keep it that way. And it's kind of like, I'm not trying to create disruption, but sometimes because I think of Aquarius having kind of an artsy way of talking, not like, I don't know how to say this. It's like you have, the Aquarians I know anyway, like, you don't always use the same words, it seems. You switch up your vocabulary, and like, communication is usually entertaining with Aquarians, in my opinion. Because it's not stagnant. It's not always the same. There's different ways of saying the same thing. Even if you're dealing with the same thing over and over, you usually, in my opinion, find a different way of saying it. Because if I say the same thing 50 times, might as well find a different way to say it. And I feel like I've been very careful not to step too far out of that. And like not getting too creative. I keep getting somebody's trying to push in. Is this creating stress or... this person, people like this person, at least at the moment, but there's something about, like, we got to be careful how this person could cause issue. They could cause calamity, and I don't want to get caught up in that. I get, like, the Queen of Swords here, but I'm seeing this card below it, which I think is the 10. Is that the 10 of Swords? Yeah. No, it's a 5. It's a 5. At least it's not the 10. And then there's the Queen of Wands coming through, and the Chariot. This energy, I feel like they're more... They poke the bear a bit much. And I feel like I'm watching this happen. I don't know. How do we feel about this? I'm holding back because I feel like I don't know about this. I keep feeling like I'm watching it and I don't know about this. I don't want to get too close to it because I don't want to. I don't want to get too close to it because I don't know where it's going, and I don't want this to disrupt the harmony of what we got going on here. Ironically, though, I do feel like this is like I can hang with that. I feel like I could hang with that, but I feel like I'm not getting too close because I'm like I'm nervous about where this is gonna go. I'm not thinking they have bad intentions, but the way they say things, I can see people getting bent out of shape pretty quickly. And a situation that's very harmonious could get very unharmonious very quickly. So I'm like, oh, I got to stay back from this. I feel like I'm keeping it backed up a little bit. I'm backing up. I do like it though. The more I hear this person, I'm like, it's kind of funny, but don't laugh. It's kind of like, oh, that was funny. Don't laugh. Oh my God, don't laugh at that. And it's not that it was a bad thing to say, but it's kind of like, oh, that could tweak some people. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. It's at this point where I'm like, I'm realizing that I do like this energy, but I'm like, it's a little bit uncouth. I feel like it's uncouth. I feel like there's a moment here where I'm going to have a choice. I'm going to pick a path. I'm either going to kind of like hunker down and kind of like, just kind of like leave them where they are and just kind of like enjoy them from afar and just kind of have that poker face when they're talking. And then behind the scenes by myself, I might like laugh or chuckle at a couple things, but I'll keep that very private and I'll just stay away from it. That's one choice. That's one path. The reason I'm saying path is because like I feel like if I start down that path, I'm probably going to stick with it. It's not guaranteed, but more than likely. The other the other way we could go with this. Now, exactly, well, before we go with that, let's just, because I need some verification for what this is. The truth. Okay. The moon reversed is like, I'm telling the truth about how I see it. Very carefully, but I'm going to just tell the truth. I might go pull this person aside and it makes me nervous, but I feel like, you know what? I see what you're doing. I understand what you're doing, but you're making me nervous, and this situation gets along quite well, but you're a little bit spicy for it. And I feel like I'm nervous, but like I feel like I'm telling this person that Ten of Swords is kind of like, you know what? I can get what you're saying. I know you don't mean harm, but this is where I can see this becoming a big... I'm worried that you're going to create a big problem here. It's the Ten of Swords, which is devastation, but it's like me voicing my fears about what you're doing and where it could go. Three of Wands is kind of saying there's an opportunity coming forward with this. If you choose that, you are Aquarius. You can handle this for sure. But it's kind of like, what's the outcome going to be? Ace of Swords backing this up at the end. Actually bringing this energy closer to you and kind of trying to like let them know, like, listen, I like you. I like that you're smart. I like that you have things, you say things a little differently, but the peace, the camaraderie, the people getting along here, very, very important to this situation, and I need to keep that. I want you to be a part of that, but maybe we need to talk about some of the things you say and how you say them and when you say them. It's like dropping the F-bomb at grandma's, which I feel like for the majority of us, you don't really do, but it's kind of like somebody coming into the family and then dropping the F-bomb at grandma's every other word. It's kind of like, oh my goodness, that's not grandma friendly. We don't really do that. At least me, when I grew up, you didn't do that in front of grandma. You just didn't do that. You just didn't do that. It's an example. If that doesn't fit, you know what I mean, though. You get the point. So that's an option. We could go forward with that. We could do that. Where does that go if we do that is the question. I mean, there are a lot of good cards here, but I feel like it would need to have an evolution. I don't feel like it would be a one conversation situation. I feel like you'd have to really bring this person closer for that to actually work. Letting down your guard a little bit. They're going to have to let down their guard a little bit too. Free will is a real thing. I feel like it's going to kind of stunt them for a minute. They're going to kind of pull back and they might be like more closed off for a second. Not just to you, but to the whole situation. They might be a little quiet for a while. Knight of Pentacles. I got the Two of Swords. That's showing me the block energy I'm talking about. But I'm also getting the Knight of Pentacles. Going within, them being self-sufficient. I don't feel like they're going to feel bad about it, but they might kind of like, it might cause them a minute to kind of like, you know what? All right, Aquarius said something. I need a minute to sit on it. I need a minute to kind of absorb what they said and just decide what I think about it. Then they have to make the decision, and free will is a real thing. They have to make the decision on what they want to do with it. They're going to be the magician in this situation, and they have to make their mind up what they want to come out of this, what they're at peace with, and they got to trust that they can do what they need to do here. They might have to I feel like they have to find a reason to trust you. It might already be there. They might have to just come to terms with that reason. Like, the reason for them to trust you is probably already there. It's just they might have to look at it a little closer. It's kind of like, when somebody gives you a gift and you give it a real good look and you're like, oh, I didn't know it could do that. You know what I mean? One of those things. There will be a moment where they kind of pull back. I feel like they're trying to give you that heads up. They will pull back for a second, and it may cause a little moment to ooh, what's going on here? Is this good? Is this bad? Did I actually make this worse instead of helping? You did do well, because I get the Lover's card coming in afterwards with prosperity. This might be one of those people where, you give your little 2 cents like you need to, or however, maybe it's $10 worth, I don't know. You have that talk, they pull back for a minute, and then when they come back around, they handle the social situation differently in a group, but you might also have one-on-one time with this person, and you might find that you can vent out and just let yourself say what you want without worrying about it. This might be one of those connections where they are a part of the main group, but when you and this person are off by yourselves, you can have some very fun conversations and both let off some steam and just let it fly, let your hair down, if you will. and just have that connection that maybe you didn't realize you were missing. Is there anything else with that? I think we're there. Went through all the cards, so we're there. I like this. I feel like this went really well. Feels good to me. Hopefully you guys like it too. I'm going to shut this down here. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.